Why geography you can see on a map, the geography underneath it. Start with the surface. The Korean peninsula is roughly 1,000 kilometers long. North Korea occupies the northern half, a country slightly larger than Greece, with a population of 26 million people. The terrain is mostly hills and mountains separated by deep, narrow valleys, with wide coastal plains in the west. That description doesn't capture what it actually means for an army trying to move through it. 80% of North Korea is mountainous. The Kaima Highlands in the northeast average 1,000 meters above sea level, the topographic roof of the entire Korean peninsula. The Nongnim Mountains run north to south directly through the middle of the country, forming a spine that divides the eastern and western slopes and makes coordinated movement across the country extraordinarily difficult. And the Hamgyong Range in the northeast creates isolated valleys accessible only by single rail lines, places where an army could disappear entirely from satellite view and emerge somewhere completely unexpected. This is not the flat terrain of Iraq in 1991. This isn't the open desert where air power can see everything and hit anything. This is terrain that breaks armies by separating them, slowing them, and hiding the enemy until it chooses to appear. The United States learned this once before. In 1950, American forces pushed north through exactly this terrain, confident, well-equipped, and advancing quickly toward the Chinese border. Then the mountains swallowed them. Chinese forces moved through the same terrain at night, invisibly, and emerged to surround American units that had no idea what was beside them. The Chosin Reservoir, the Battle of the Chongcheon River. Catastrophic engagements in mountainous terrain where the most powerful military on Earth lost thousands of men to an enemy that understood the geography better. The terrain hasn't changed since 1950, but the terrain is only the beginning. Because North Korea looked at its mountains and asked a question no other country has answered quite as thoroughly. What if the mountain itself is the weapon? US estimates range from 5,000 to 8,000 underground sites. Not only invasion tunnels, but leadership bunkers, artillery positions, troop shelters, and 3 major underground air bases, one of which features a 5,900-foot runway that passes entirely through a mountain. Read that again. A runway through a mountain. North Korea has built an Air Force base inside a mountain, with the runway entering one side and exiting the other, so that aircraft can take off and land without ever being visible to satellite imagery until the moment they emerge. At least 800 bunkers were built near the border alone, not including decoys, capable of concealing light infantry brigades and keeping them rested until the moment of invasion. Starting in 2004, North Korea began building bunkers near the border capable of concealing between 1,500 and 2,000 fully armed combat troops each. This is not a country hiding in fear. This is a country that spent 70 years engineering its own geography, taking mountains and making them deeper, taking valleys and filling them with hidden capacity, building a second country underneath the first one, invisible to every satellite, every reconnaissance aircraft, every intelligence agency that's ever tried to map it. Then there's the tunnel network. The first tunnel discovered beneath the DMZ was found in 1974, extending 1 kilometer south of the border, large enough to move 2,000 troops per hour under the demilitarized zone. A U.S. Navy officer and South Korean Marine corporal were killed by a booby trap while investigating it. The exact number of tunnels beneath the DMZ remains unknown. South Korea has found 4. Military analysts believe there are dozens more. Each one is built to the same specification: wide enough for artillery, deep enough to survive surface bombardment, positioned to emerge behind South Korean defensive lines rather than in front of them. The military logic is elegant and terrifying. If North Korea ever decides to move south, its first wave doesn't cross the DMZ. It emerges from beneath it, behind the defensive positions that have been pointing north for 70 years. This changes every calculation about how a conflict on the peninsula would begin. And it means the geography of North Korea doesn't just protect it from invasion. It projects threat southward through the ground itself. But even this misses the deepest layer. North Korea has conducted all 6 of its nuclear tests at the Punggye-ri test site, a large mountain complex in North Hamgyong province with several underground tunnel systems. The underground site wasn't destroyed even when tunnel entrances were demolished in 2018. After an extended period of inactivity, North Korea has begun reconstituting it, with new portals being excavated into the mountain. The nuclear program lives inside mountains. Underground facilities at Sinpongdong, Hojangni, and Yeongjo-ri reveal the pattern. Yeongjo-ri alone features 12 underground tunnels, 6 for missile storage and 6 for personnel and potential leadership bunkers, located just 27 kilometers from the Chinese border. The missiles are underground. The leadership is underground. The command and control is underground. The nuclear tests are underground. When the United States struck Iraq in 1991, it destroyed an air force in 24 hours by hitting airfields and aircraft on the surface. In North Korea, there are no aircraft on the surface. When the United States and Israel struck Iran's nuclear facilities in 2026 using the most powerful bunker-busting bombs ever deployed in combat, they could not confirm what they destroyed underground. North Korea watched that operation carefully. It's been building deeper ever since. Now add the geography that no amount of engineering can explain away. China. North Korea shares a 1,420-kilometer border with China along the Yalu and Tumen rivers. And China has never, not once, allowed North Korea to fall. Not because Beijing loves the Kim regime. Beijing does not love the Kim regime. It tolerates it for a reason that has nothing to do with ideology and everything to do with geography. A unified, democratic, American-allied Korea on China's border is a geographic threat Beijing will not accept. American troops currently sit 60 kilometers south of the DMZ. A unified Korea means American troops potentially sit on the Yalu River, the same river where China entered the Korean War in 1950 specifically to prevent exactly that outcome. China fought a catastrophic war to keep a buffer state on its border. It's not going to allow that buffer to disappear through economic pressure, regime collapse, or military action. This means North Korea has a geographic guarantee no treaty could provide. As long as China exists as a major power, and as long as the United States has a military presence in South Korea, North Korea's survival is structurally guaranteed by the geography of great power competition. Kim Jong Un doesn't need to be popular. He doesn't need a functioning economy. He needs to remain useful. geographic necessity, not an ideological preference. And 25 million hostages in Seoul who never agreed to be part of the equation. North Korea isn't a mystery. It's a geography problem. And geography problems don't get solved. They get managed until they can't be anymore.